Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Players Take, episode 181. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you doing this week?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Well, I told you before the show, my wife tested positive for COVID, so you know, I'm probably sick right now, but it's not bad right now. I think I can get through the show, so we're gonna deal with that. But otherwise, my vacation was really nice. Got a lot of beach time. Did some snorkeling. That was really fun. I saw a shark. That was
Did,
cool and all that.
did you
So
punch it in the nose?
no, it swam under me and swam away. So it was it was a little baby shark too. It wasn't like a big guy. So nothing too scary there, but was notable for sure. Did see a lot of fish, dude. Like it was pretty cool actually. I didn't realize how many were just like chilling, right on the beach, So that was actually a really cool experience, for sure. But I got a lot of relaxation time, plenty of just chilling in the water, basically sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
which is always relaxing as hell. Um, but yeah, there was this woman on the flight back that she was sick, and she said she was sick, but knowing now, pretty sure she had COVID. And I think that's where we got it from. So that's the funny part is we didn't get it from the cruise. The cruise was fine. I'm pretty sure it was from that person on the flight back. So yeah.
So was she sitting right next to y'all or
Yeah,
something? Or
she was. I was on the window, which is why
Mhm.
I'm probably I don't think I got anything, but Amanda was in the middle, and then yeah, this woman was right next to her on the end seat, like she was on the edge, like the middle seat
Okay.
or the aisle seat. So Amanda got it first. She's been sick for a couple days, but she tested herself Tuesday and it was negative, but then she tested again today and it came back positive this time. So um, I am now in quarantine mode probably for the next week and a half or so. So gonna be playing a lot of Xenoblade. Probably. So but yeah. So yeah, how's life treating you, man?
I've been very tired the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
I went to one of our friends'. All right, if I disconnect, y'all, it's because my cat is on my lap, Silas, and he's pretty erratic. He's chilling right now, but he keeps messing with the cord, and I don't know if he's gonna like snatch it out or not. But
Okay.
he's chilling right now.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, I went to one of our friends' costume parties. It was pretty cool. Um, that was the first time I actually did like a cosplay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had like Sasuke, the Shippuden version of Sasuke on. So it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, this weekend I have to work on my girlfriend's car. Oh, so that was a thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on with like UPS and shit like that. So I have to work on the car or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a car part I ordered because if I had took it to the shop, it would have been like $1,000 to do. I'm like, I could just do this shit my fucking self.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to do it myself. I ordered the part. The part came through, and or the part didn't come through. I ordered rush delivery because
Mm-hmm.
Dennison was supposed to help me with it as well.
Yeah.
So I ordered rush delivery, and yeah, they said it was delivered, but they delivered it to the wrong address, and I don't know why UPS keeps mixing my house up with the guy's house next door. I guess our houses look similar, but the addresses are clearly different.
Yeah.
His is and I'm
Yeah.
and like I hope I just didn't dox myself. But like
Yeah.
uh
I can cut it if you want.
that's all. You can like censor it, I guess.
All right.
But like yeah, so that happened, and the guy they dropped his grill off a couple weeks ago on my porch, and once we got it, we took it right over to his house, rang the doorbell, and then we left the thing on his porch. He kept my package for like 4 or 5 days. I was so upset.
The fuck?
I was yeah. He kept my package for
What?
about 4 or 5 days, and then he brought it and was like, "Oh, this is yours, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." Like I already called the company and everything, and was
Yeah.
like going off on them because I'm like I didn't get my package and blah 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 and all this stuff like
Man,
that.
yeah,
And then I bought another
that's
part,
super inconsiderate, dude.
yeah, and I bought another part of the same thing, but now I can't return it because it's gonna look like I'm trying to do fraud now. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep the part. So I have two of the same parts that I don't need. So yeah, I was pretty upset about
Sell
that.
it on eBay.
Yeah, I might do that. I might just sell it on
Yeah, just get
eBay.
rid of it. Yeah, dude. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with shipping companies. Like, I mean, obviously we have there's like a supply chain crisis going on, but like they've just sucked total dick now. Like they're all they've all gotten really bad. Like I've had packages get lost, stolen. Uh, Delivery people steal my packages. Like it fucking they delivered to the wrong
Delivery people?
address. Yeah, dude. Like I had a game got like when I bought Triangle Strategy. Do you remember that? Like I got it through Amazon and they delivered it and it was empty. The bag the like bubble wrap bag was empty, and that was the one that I went down there literally a minute after they said it was delivered, but they had like already driven off, the delivery person, so they just left like an
Yeah,
empty bubble mailer. Um,
that's crazy.
so who else would have stolen it? I'm like, it's literally a fucking minute, bro. Like there wasn't enough time for someone else to come take it. Like, so it had to have been the delivery person, you know. Um, or it was somebody at Amazon stole it, but like fucking like somehow the package was empty the whole way and got delivered to my house. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Somebody would have noticed that. So yeah, no, I've definitely had bad experiences recently too with it. And we get other people's mail all the time too. Our neighbors across the street, we get their mail a lot. And then there's a house at the very end of the street that is at a dead end that we get their mail too, because it's like the delivery people don't want to figure out where the house is. Like it's like, oh, it's too hard. I don't know. I don't know where to go. It's like, all right, dude. Just dropping in a random mailbox is not the not probably not the
Yeah,
answer. So
it's not the meta, bro.
yeah,
Like,
right. So yeah, that sucks, man. But hey, I mean, maybe make a little scratch off it. So, um, all right. Well, Montrell, thank you for covering last week, but I think we should just jump into the show proper. We got a lot of news to cover.
all right, let's go.
All right. For those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us a question, you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter at theplayerstake. Which we do have a question this week, Montreal. You should probably go look at it so you can prepare for it. I forgot to mention it before the show, but we will be doing that as well. So please send us questions. We love answering those. All right, Montreal, let's jump into what we've been playing. Do you want to go first, or shall I?
You can go first, and probably just you. I honestly have not really played any games this week.
Okay.
It's been a really terrible week for
Fair
me.
enough.
So
Well, I have 2 weeks of
yeah,
games to talk about. Now, it's not a ton of shit. So, but playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3, I played that on the cruise and some downtime moments a little bit. Also when I got home and before I left as well. And
did you get like a gaming laptop?
no, I took my work laptop and put it on there. It's so lightweight, like
Okay, yeah.
so it's like whatever. I just moved my save files over and took them with me. I actually need to move them back. I haven't played since I got back because of that. I need to move the save files back over, but yeah. I got through most of the Armageddon's Blade campaign, which is the biggest campaign in the game. It's 8 scenarios long. I am through 6 of them. I am on the 7th right now. So I'm actually looking forward to getting through this campaign. It's not my least favorite campaign, but it's definitely not my favorite one either. It's a bit of a slog, especially at the end. There's some scenarios in there that I just feel like are not that great, like well designed. Not in the sense that they're hard, it's that they're like way too fucking easy. Like so, but almost through that. Looking forward to getting through the rest. I'm kind of doing the campaigns in reverse order of my kind of like preference. I'm doing the one I like the least first. That was Festival of Life, and then the next one I like the least, and then I'm going to go up the list. until I get to the one I like the most. So still playing that. I did play Sunbreak a little bit before I left on vacation. I think I'm master rank 42 or something like that, maybe 43. I don't know.
Okay.
Have you played it all last couple weeks, or you
No,
kind of off it?
I'm off it right now. I'm
Okay.
shelving it for right now to end of next month, and I'm gonna play it
Yeah, when the patch
or
comes
end of
out.
this month. Yeah,
Yeah, is that when they're doing it? It's the end of the month.
it's the end of the month. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I may go back into it a little bit, but I'm probably with you. I'm probably just gonna wait until they drop more monsters to play that some more. So and then also this was random, but I've been, I'm joking about how into Magic the Gathering I am lately, and I'm kind of into card games right now. And I was hearing a lot of really high praise for Legends of Runeterra, which is Riot's card game based off of
Yeah.
League of Legends, and I decided to download it again because I was like, man, I haven't played this game since it was in fucking like beta.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember you playing it. I thought you liked it, or
I did. I did
you
like
said,
it. I did like it. It's just that the game didn't have enough there to keep me like playing it at the
mm-hmm.
time. There was it was just like all the modes in the game were like hyper competitive modes. It was like a pre-built, standard mode where you build your deck and you play against other people who build their deck. And then it was like there was like a draft mode, but it was limited. Like you needed like currency to be able to do the draft. I don't think it was
Yeah.
unlimited. So that kind of scared me off from the game a little bit. But coming back to it, this game, it's interesting. So they got rid of the draft mode. Apparently, that got axed. However, they did add a few things. Since I played last time, they added basically like a single player story mode to this game now. That is like fucking massive, hugely robust, and I'm actually really enjoying that. I like playing this game without the pressure of playing against other people all the time. And you're actually able to complete your daily quests through the story mode for the most part. So you don't actually have to play against other people to complete all your dailies, which is really, I think is really nice, actually. I like that a lot. So I don't know. I actually haven't played it since before I left. So it's been almost 2 weeks now, but I'm I need to probably I'll probably turn it on tonight and like play around with it a little bit. So I may play this on and off. It's the game is like really cool. There's a lot of expansions now. The game's meta is pretty robust at this point. And I don't know. I enjoy it. I like the way they've monetized it too. You cannot buy. I'm pretty sure you cannot buy like card packs, like booster packs for cards. You have to earn them like in the game, playing the game for the most part. You can buy
Oh,
wild
okay.
cards that let you pick cards you want individually, but that is hyper expensive to do that in bulk, like in mass. The best way to get cards is just play the game. There's a lot of free
Oh,
rewards in the
okay.
game. So this game is a really well designed. This is way better than fucking Hearthstone. Hearthstone's a fucking just money sink. Like that's their whole model. So most of the stuff you can buy in Legends of Runeterra is just cosmetic shit, like a deck board or like a play mat, basically for when you're in games. You can buy like this little avatar that will do stuff. You can buy emotes, things like that, card backs, just
Yeah,
cosmetic
I
stuff.
will say
So,
they're really good at monetizing like cosmetic shit
yeah.
in League of Legends games, or in League of Legends games in general, and Riot games in general. They're because they do the same in Valorant. I wish I had more people to play Valorant with because that's
Hmm.
a good game.
Yeah.
But I know you guys don't really like the Counter Strike esque type games.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I don't know. I'm so tired of Apex at this point. It might be worth checking out. So I don't know.
but yeah, I mean, that's why I'm really excited for their other games. I'm
Hmm.
excited for their fighting game they got coming out. Like that's when I'm gonna die. That's gonna be my game. Like when I dive back into it, that's gonna be
Hmm.
my. I think that game's gonna bring me back to fighters. In general, because I've been like out of fighters for about
Yeah.
10 years
So
now.
have you seen? I think there was some new footage of that recently, like the last couple days, dude. And yeah, it looks pretty fucking good. It's kind
Yeah,
of
and
impressed.
they're trying to make it to where everyone can get into it.
Hmm.
But it's gonna be difficult to master, and I like that those type of fighting games because I can play that with anybody. Like anybody can get into fighting games, and then I can play with them. I can take my skill down a notch and just play with them or whatever. But then if I want to ramp it up, I don't really have to do anything extra. I just have to play better. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was really looking for Dragon Ball Fighters to be like that. I like Dragon Ball Z Fighters a
Yeah.
lot, but the meta got away from me, and then I just stopped playing because it was like during a really weird time in my life, and I just stopped playing it. But that game almost brought me back to fighters as well.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, I almost bought Blade of the Ruin King,
Mm.
that RPG that they have,
Oh
turn-based
yeah.
RPG they have.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it was $20 on Xbox, and if it was like a little bit lower, like maybe like $15, I would have bought it. I don't know. I'm just really a stickler for my
Yeah.
games. But yeah, it looks pretty fun though. It's like a fully animated or 3D animated, almost like Stick of Truth style combat. If you guys played that before, it's really
Mm-hmm.
really cool. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over your thing there,
Oh,
but yeah,
no, man.
League of Legends games are really good. I think if you don't like the main League of Legends game, there are like a ton of other games. Like DJ loves fucking TFT on League of Legends. He
Yeah.
plays that shit all the time now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think I think it's a really good franchise. I'm glad you're like playing
Yeah.
Legends of Runeterra.
Well, I'd like, dude. I've always liked Riot. Okay, like we talked about this last time we talked about Blizzard, right? I think Riot is kind of the modern day Blizzard, and
Yeah.
in the sense that they're not like they're trying to make money and they're making a fuck ton of money, but they don't. For the most part, I feel like they're pretty on the level with it. They don't like I the only thing with them is that League, I don't like the fact that you have to buy characters. I still think that is a bad practice on their part. That's really the only thing I dislike of any of the games I played of theirs in terms of monetization. But other than that, though, like I think they do a pretty good job. Especially their games are solid, they're polished, they're well made. Like they're like they are kind of what Blizzard used to be with the modern, more fitting it into a more modern lens, So
Yeah.
I'm kind of into Riot. I just like I wish I could. I need it. I don't know, dude. I wish I could just get into League more. Like I don't like. I fucking want to play it with you. I just like
I think
I
I
don't.
think you
I
I
don't know.
think that Xbox Game Pass thing is your ticket in
Yeah.
because you can play it through the client of
Hmm.
Xbox. So I
Yeah.
think you already have Game Pass. They give you all the characters for free,
Yeah.
and then even like for me, they got like a system in there now where you can get characters for free. You play as you earn. So as you play more, you can earn more credits to get a character for free.
Hmm.
And it's not just a traditional way of buying it. It's another way to get the characters. So
Right.
I have all the characters unlocked, and I have paid $0 for them.
Yeah. Right, and I obviously anybody that's been playing League for a long time is probably at that point because you can earn them by like you earn a currency in game when you play matches, right? And that's always been
Yeah.
there. And you can unlock characters that way. But you can also pay money to unlock characters too.
Hmm.
That's always been like the give and take of it. So I don't know. I just like have to. The problem is there's such a huge skill gap between you and me in League that I don't want to bring you down. It's like
I
so.
have a dummy account. I
Yeah,
have a dummy
I
account
don't
that I
know.
use,
Yeah.
so we can
Um,
play on that dummy account.
because I feel like I've given up on getting you into Dota. We have like this is the fucked up part. We have like 4 people right now in our group that are kind of into the idea of playing Dota, but I don't know. It's just it's tough. So I kind of want to just like spin up League and play some bot matches and just figure out a couple characters, and like kind of
Yeah.
figure out how to play them, and go from there. But yeah, I'm kind of into the Riot ecosystem right now. That's why, like, honestly, Valorant, I might be down to try it out if more people are in our group.
I'll be down to play it. I mean, I haven't only played like a couple of matches, so I don't have any MMR at all. So we'll be playing like new people as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think it's a cool team based game for like 5 people. If we have 5 people in Discord, I guess we can do
mhm,
5v5 and just play it like
mhm,
that. So
yeah. So it might be something else to explore too. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep playing Legends of Runeterra. I think, I'm not gonna like. This is the thing. It's really easy to get like crazy obsessed and play the game every day and like maximize the rewards you're getting. And this is why I like the way they've designed the game. The fact that you can't buy anything means that you're like I'm behind, but the only way to catch up is time. So I don't feel any. It's weird, but I don't feel any pressure to play a lot. It's like
Yeah.
because I can't buy my way forward. So it's like there's not a shortcut. It's just you just play, and eventually you'll have all the cards. So I think it's actually a good system. It works for me, I guess, is the right way to put it. So all right. So the big game I've been playing, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, came out last week. I have been playing it. I probably played it every day since it came out for maybe an hour or two. I'm not very far. I think I'm 8 to 9 hours in right now. And Montrell, you haven't bought it yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy it this weekend.
So far, I'm kind of I'm a big Xenoblade fan, like very huge Xenoblade Chronicles fan. I am not like totally hooked into this game yet. I'm into it. I'm having fun. I want to play it more, but I'm not like fucking like ravenously obsessed with it yet. Where I'm like, that's all I want to do. And I do it for like a month, and you guys don't see me. Like I'm not there with this game right now, which is fine. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like it's just not grabbing me yet because the reason that is because this Monolith's kind of gotten into this habit with these games of doing this thing where they kind of slow play the mechanics. They don't give you very much in the beginning, but they like what they did in this game. This is like kind of fucking weird, actually. To be honest, I'm not like super enamored with it either. I don't love this. Is they start you in the game early in the game, right? They give you like 3 characters, and you start the game as these 3 characters, and they have access to 3 or 4 abilities, like attacks, like attack abilities, arts, or whatever. And they have access to a limited amount of equipment and skills and stuff like that. And that's it for a while, for like the first few hours, and then they unleash you into the open world like this. And the game, while it's not as slow as Xenoblade Chronicles 2, definitely they huge improvement there. The game feels way better to play this time
Yeah.
around, early on at least, than Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but it still has a similar problem where you just don't have all the tools at your disposal, so your characters are like kind of fucking weak. Like they're
Mm,
like you cannot fight a lot of things early in the game, even though they're on level with you, because your party just does not have a lot of tools at their disposal. It's like very basic. And I think they made a mistake because the characters they give you in the beginning, their abilities, their cooldowns are timer based. So they like you use an ability and it takes 25 seconds to recharge. The next group of characters that join you later, they are different, and their abilities recharge based on auto attacking and using other abilities. So like when you auto attack with one of those characters, like you use an ability and then it will be in recharge state, and then you'll hit an enemy a couple times with your auto attack, and then that will charge the art, and then you use another art, and bang, that art, the first one you used, is charged. So it feels much faster and more fluid to use those characters' abilities. I feel like that would have been a better way to introduce people to the game, because the gameplay early on, the first 3 hours or so, is really slow, because all you're doing is you're walking up to the enemy, you start the combat, you use your first ability, you get into position, because the main character's his abilities are positional at first. You use the second ability in the position, and then you use the third ability, and then you just wait until they're off cooldown. Like that's it, and you just stand there and you're auto attacking. There's like nothing else to do, and it makes combat really dull early, and the battles like take fucking forever, dude. It's like 3-4 minutes, you're fucking fighting like regular enemies, which has always been Xenoblade's thing, but I just feel like it's not. This is like where I always get hung up with people who like don't like Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I'm like, I don't fucking get what you guys are talking about, because it's like that game, it's like fast. Like the combat in the game is fast and fluid. Like like you moving Shulk around and he's fucking fast. He's not walking around like he's got fucking anchors on his feet. And he's constantly auto attacking, and his auto attack is not slow. It's like fairly fast, but his ability cooldowns are low too. So it's like you're pretty much beyond the first like hour. got a pretty fluid rotation going with him, for the most part, where combat feels like fluid pretty early in the game. So they've done this now 3 games in a row where it's like they kind of start you off slow, but the thing is, X didn't have this problem either because it had the speed that the original Xenoblade Chronicles had. And you got your abilities pretty quickly in that game too. It's just that they held a major mechanic until like 30 or 40 hours into the game. But the game wasn't worse for the fact that they held that mechanic, you know? Like that just made the game even better with X. But with 2 and 3 so far, like 2 especially, I mean, obviously I beat 2, so like 2 for sure, but 3 so far, I feel like it's just like still too slow. Like it takes too long. I'm 9 hours in and I still feel like I don't have everything at my disposal. And they're still continuing to layer more mechanics on. Like every cutscene, I feel like I get a new mechanic layered on. And which is great. I mean, they're trying not to overwhelm people. I get it with the complexity, but man, for people like me and you who are like JRPG veterans, like man, like fuck, man, I want it all there. I just want to fucking like go in, you know, like give me an option where I can have it all right at the start, you know.
And but then in that aspect, like you'll probably be bored midway through the game.
Mm,
So it's like
mm-hmm.
they gotta layer it on
I get
like
it.
that. So
I just think they need to really think about this approach with the next game a little bit more because it still doesn't feel right. It feels better than 2. It definitely feels better than 2, but I'm still not feeling like I'm satisfied with it yet because there's still a lot of restrictions in place that I can't like fully do everything yet, you know? And it's like intentional, like they're putting intentional gates in front of you, you know, but it's there, you know, it's there. It's going to come at some point, you know, but it's just not, you're not there yet. You're not far enough into the game yet.
yeah, what's interesting is like Xenoblade Chronicles X. I know everybody's tired of us hearing that game, but that combat was pretty like out the gate. I remember that combat being pretty
It's
fast. You
the
had like 3 or
fastest
4
they've ever
moves.
made. Yeah. It's faster
Yeah,
than 1 even. Yeah, for sure.
so it's kind of interesting how they went back to like kind of gating it off, but I
Well,
don't know.
2 is the slowest they've ever made. And I think 3 is a middle ground between 1 and 2. Like that's really where it is. So which I'm okay with. It's like fast enough that I think it's good. It feels good. I think once everything's unlocked, this game's going to feel great. So I just kind of need to get there. But I'm enjoying it now. The combat is now fun. I think running around fighting enemies, I'm not like trying to avoid fights as much as I was early on. I'm fighting pretty consistently and I'm having a good time doing it for the most part. So barring that part, the combat and everything else, the rest of the game, the story, definitely good, intriguing for sure. I'm into this mystery, whatever the mystery is in this game. But the thing I want to say, this isn't spoiling anything because this is all within the first like 30 minutes of the game. Is this game has significant homages to Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Like I am not even fucking with you. Like there's so much imagery in this game that is ripped right out of that fucking game, like straight up. Like so this game has races from the first game, like right away, like the High Entia, No Pawn, which No Pawn were in 2 as well, but the High Entia were not. Like High Entia are from the first game, and then they have some of the Mechon imagery from the first game is in this game early in the game. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice it quickly. But even some of the High Entia like cultural aspects are present in this game's world. So there's I think an extremely clear connection to the first game that is going to play out at some point in this game's story. Um, and well, because the other thing too is the colony you start at is called Colony 9, which is the colony you start at in the first game. Now it doesn't look the same; it looks completely different. And the landmass around it is completely different. But it, it's kind of on the nose. That's a pretty clear. They could have called it anything, Colony 7. Like it did. Why Colony 9?
Yeah,
So it's a pretty clear connection as well. So I think there's a really clear connection to the first game. I've not seen many connections to the second game so far, like really not much of anything that I can think of at this point. So I'm sure it'll come eventually, but That's
You
the
want to know my
exciting part about
prediction?
this. What? So, go ahead.
You want to know my prediction? I
Yeah.
think my prediction is this. I think the timeline order
Yeah.
is going to be 1,
Hmm.
3, and then 2. Whatever happens in 3 is the result of
Okay.
why everything went up in the sky in 2.
Yeah. Maybe I could see them doing something like that. My thought. I think my thought is I think 1 and 2 happened at the same time because at the beginning of the game they show this event happening, but it's like not. It's shown really quickly. It's like 5 seconds or less, and they show these two like entities. Not I don't even know how to say it. Like entities, not even the right word. It's like these two glowing orbs, and they like combine into each other, and then they show some stuff happening in this game's world where like parts of the landscape are just like phasing out and like disappearing, like going away. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think those two orbs or like it feels like it was a metaphor for the two worlds combining because um 1 and 2 it's kind of indicated they happened at the same time, like they were simultaneous, but they were like different
Mm,
worlds. They're connected, but they're not physically connected, you know.
gotcha.
So my thought is that I think the two worlds combined, and this is in the distant future, this game, like distant future, like probably hundreds or thousands of years later. um because the game starts out, there's a monologue by the main character in the beginning of the game saying that the world is dying, so which would indicate a lot of time has passed. So that's kind of my prediction, at least based off what I've played so far. But I will tell you that based on that, guys, probably don't play this game if you haven't played 1 and 2. Like all the games are on Switch now. You don't have an excuse. Like you can play all of them. So I really would recommend that. Now that is a massive fucking commitment. That's probably
Yeah.
400 hours of gameplay or 500 probably, but it's worth it, man. It's worth it. It's
You
worth it.
guys don't have to do every side quest. I
Yeah,
learned that.
skip the
So
skip the side quest. If you're getting bored of side quests, fuck them, dude. Don't do them. Don't run around if you don't want to run around. Like don't feel compelled to be a completionist because even if you're not, the game is still going to be 70 hours. So fucking
and, it, and Switch doesn't really have good like you know trophies or
right.
achievements. So
True,
you know,
exactly. That's also true. Um, so yeah, but I think it's clear you're gonna need to know stuff from the first and second game to really get the whole story with 3. So I wouldn't play this without playing the other two. But so outside the story, exploration, so far, I I've only been to 3 zones or 2 zones. Well, yeah, 2 zones, I guess technically. And I gotta say I'm a little disappointed with some of the topography, at least so far. I don't think it's as good as 1 or 2. 1 and 2 had settings that were very compelling from a geographical standpoint because in 1 you're running around on 2 giant titans, that's literally like where the people live. They live on one of the titans. So that is inherently an interesting to kind of design landscapes around that concept. And then 2 is the same thing. Everybody lived on these giant titans that literally were alive and like moved around and shit. So both of these like inherently create great design space to make interesting landscapes. This game does not have anything like that, at least so far. So the landscapes are just kind of feel a little generic, I guess is what I'm saying. They don't have as much personality as the previous 2 games did. Now, that's not to say they're bad. It's just like compared to 1 and 2, it's a little bit less than what we've had in the past. So,
yeah,
however, I will say the first area was smaller than I thought it would be, um, based off what it was initially. So it seems like maybe there might be more areas, but they're smaller. That's maybe kind of what I'm feeling, at least so far. But there's already some of that Xenoblade flair, though, where like there are areas that are clearly designed for you to come back to later because there's enemies that are like level 50 and shit, and you're level 10. So there's still plenty of that there as well. There is rewards for exploring as well in this game, just like the previous 2 games. Chests floating around, like secret areas, stuff like that. which you do get rewarded for. So it's good in that way. In terms of graphics, I don't think it looks any. I don't, at least so far, I'm not blown away by it. It really doesn't look much different from two. I mean, I do continue to be impressed by what they pull off though on the Switch with these games, because they're making a massive open world RPG on the Switch, and it runs well. I haven't had any real frame issues or anything like that so far. So that's a good thing as well. Characters, I do like the party so far too. They've been pretty fun. The cast of villains that they've shown so far is fucking gigantic, by the way. That is an interesting wrinkle. People are saying this game's like 150 hours, and I kind of am starting to believe them based off of the number of people there are involved in this game's story. So there's a lot of shit that's probably needs to play out for all these characters to have resolution and play their part in the story. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have that much more to say about it right now. I'm getting some of the subsystems in. Like I just got cooking yesterday. And like gem crafting, I think is the next one that they're about to unlock for me for equipment, which is kind of cool. So I'm sure there's a lot more I don't know yet about the combat and the character progression systems. I did unlock the class stuff though, actually, like class swapping. And that is interesting. So the classes seem, at least so far at first blush, the classes are kind of designed in a wide way. Like they're shallow, but there's a lot of them. Like there's a fuck ton of classes, but they're not super deep. Most classes only have 5 abilities, which you unlock like right away. And most of the reason you want to spend time in a class is so that you can master some of their skills, their arts, and then their passive skills, so you can use those with other classes, and you can kind of mix and match and make combinations and stuff. And that's how you build your characters. So it's actually kind of an interesting. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a unique system, but it's not one I've seen a ton in the past. And I'm definitely excited to explore it. So. Montrell, do you plan to get this, or are you kind of holding off for now?
I'm planning on I'm gonna buy it just so I can have it, and then I gotta finish the other games. So that's my plan.
Okay.
I think I need something a little bit. I know Xenoblade games aren't exactly slow, but I need something a little bit more focused.
Yeah.
I'm playing like the Ninja Gaiden games, and I don't know. I just don't really feel like jumping into them anymore, which is really weird because I love those games. But that's why I really haven't been playing anything. I've been logging on, maybe playing like one game of League of Legends. I work out and then cook, and then I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because it's been a really hectic week. So
I get you. I've been the same
yeah.
way. I've been playing shit that I can just jump in and jump out of.
Yeah.
Like that's why I've been playing Heroes of Might and Magic, dude. I booted up and I'm back in my game in 2 seconds, like literally like 15 seconds. I'm back on the map, running around, fighting battles and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just really easy to just drop in, drop out for me, and I'm in the same boat. I get home and I'm like, I don't want to wind up into playing like a fucking big ass single player game or something, or Sunbreak even. Where you got to do all your character maintenance between every hunt, and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
But Xenoblade's working for me right now. It caught me at the right time. I'm not playing anything really like specific that is blocking me from playing this. So I'm into it. I think I'm gonna see this one all the way through right now. But other than that, that's all I'm playing, man. So, is there anything you want to talk about? Games you're playing?
No, I've just been playing. I have been playing these games, but unfortunately, like I said, I forgot to add one game to the list. I actually did re-download Battlefield 2042.
Oh yeah,
and they have improved the game a lot. I've actually been enjoying it. When I shoot people, they actually get hit and die. That's cool. Because I thought, bro, you have no idea. I thought I was fucking trash. Like
no, that's
I really thought I
embarrassing
was.
though, dude. Like you're making a shooter and you can't even get hit reg right. Ugh.
Yeah. And I thought I was fucking trash. Like I legitimately, I'm like, I've never been this bad at Battlefield before. And then like later on, as like the weeks went by and everything like that, months went by, people were like, yeah, the hit registration shit on this game. and they just released a major update like a month ago. And then they released another major update this past weekend.
Mhm.
So I'm probably gonna be diving more into Battlefield. Like I always love the portal they have in there, but they actually improve servers for people to host their own custom games and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So that's where the real magic happens is in the custom games when people host their own servers. Usually I do like 24/7 rush servers,
Yeah.
which is a mode rush.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have their custom settings in there and everything of that nature. And I've been having a blast. Like the game is actually really fun. I'm still disappointed at the operators and how they work and everything of that nature. Um, they're
Mhm.
not they don't really change the way they do change the way the battle works, but they're more so like um it's more so class based now the way they have the operator set up now instead of like hero shooter based.
Okay.
So that's cool, but like I said, if you're playing on the Russian side, you're still playing with the same skins of operators that you're playing with the American side. I think it's kind of crazy because you'll play with one person
Yeah.
um who's clearly like an American and he's fighting on the Russian side and it doesn't make any sense. So um yeah, I don't really like that aspect of it, but I mean, they can't really change that without changing the entire game. So I am looking forward to the next game,
Mhm.
just because they improved this one so much. But that being said, I'm not going to buy the next game day one like I did this game. I bought this game day one.
Mhm.
Um, Even after playing the beta, I thought like it's just a really bad build of the game that we were playing, but that was the fucking game.
Yeah. Man, they
So
got you.
no,
They got you,
yeah,
man.
they got me. So I learned my lessons. Unfortunately, like I said, I downloaded the game, so it was digital. So I couldn't return it. And yeah, so if you guys still have 42 in your accounts, uh, I say re-download it and give it a try. They fixed some things, not all things, but it's definitely way more playable. They nerfed some things like the fucking helicopters were fucking overpowered and shit. Like, it
Mhm.
was just really bad. If you're really good at helicopters, you can just tear through the entire fucking team like with no problem.
Yeah.
Um, which I was really good at the helicopters. So they fixed a lot of things as far as that, and yeah, that's really the only thing I've been playing drop in games. So like League of Legends and Battlefield. I wanted to play Apex, but everybody's been doing everything else, and I think I'm just gonna hold off on Apex until the next patch.
Mhm.
The season drops. You see, I actually like the change they made to Apex, the seasons that the drops they made. So
Oh, the patch.
um,
Yeah. See.
yeah,
Well, I don't know if I want to go down this rabbit hole too deep, but
now we'll talk about it next week or
I
something. But
mean,
yeah,
it's coming out next week, so we're probably gonna play it. But
yeah,
I want to call it one change. They're taking they're making the wingman a sniper weapon, and they're making it
I think
use
that's
sniper
I think that's
ammo.
I think that's totally fine.
No, I think they've taken this too far. Okay, yeah,
That's
the
because you
weapon.
just started using the week,
No,
man.
no, 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 not only it's you fucking bastard. It's not only that. The thing is they take a heavy hand with things with balance sometimes in Apex to a point, and then they don't they don't come back at all. Like they don't compromise sometimes, and I don't know what they're gonna do with the wingman, but like, dude, going from 2 stacks of ammo being 120 bullets to 2 stacks of ammo being 48 bullets, and you now need 5 stacks of ammo to be the same as what 2 stacks used to be. That is an insane fucking nerf, like a 60% fucking nerf in the weapons um uh ammo capacity. Like that's all they're
Yeah,
changing. It sounds like they're not changing anything else, but that doesn't matter. The thing is not a sniper. It doesn't shoot like a sniper. It doesn't shoot as slow as a sniper. You can blow through 50 bullets on a fucking wingman in like a minute. You know,
I think that's the point. I think
I
that's the point.
I just think
I
it's
think I I
no.
think I think
They're gonna destroy that gun. The gun's not. No one's gonna use a wingman anymore. Like I'm telling you,
good. That gun is fucking broken.
it's
Like
not
I mean,
broken though. It's a high
I
skill
know you
weapon.
I
Like
know you need skill to shoot the gun, but it's so fucking broken, bro. Like once you got it, you got it. Like that's it is what it is
yeah,
with
and
that
that's
gun.
why I'm pissed because I got it, and now they're fucking taking it. They're fucking destroying the gun,
Bro,
man.
you need all you need is what 3 shots to break shields and health. 3 or 4 shots, right? You got
No,
that?
it's
That's cool, man.
45 a hit in the body.
Okay.
So you need
That's what that's
you
about 3
need 5
shots.
shots to down somebody with a red shield in the body. That assumes they have no damage reduction whatsoever. You don't do any like glancing blows or anything like that. So
I
yes,
personally think that's balanced.
I
I
don't.
personally think that's
I think
balanced.
no. I think what they needed to do. No, this is my problem. They went too far. I understand the nerf. I get it. I get the logic. The logic makes sense. I would have done the same thing if I were balancing this weapon. Like if I were trying to balance this weapon without doing anything to it statistically.
Yeah.
However, they went too far. What they needed to do, this is what they needed to do, and I'm fucking annoyed that they don't think about this shit, is make a new fucking ammo type that's only 40 bullets per stack, and bang, there you go. You're fucking halfway between the two solutions. Instead of 120 bullets per 2 stacks, it's 80. And there you go. If you want to have 120 still, you need another stack. And that's a nerf, dude. Like, make a pistol
I,
ammo type. Like, I don't know. Like, why is this so hard? You make it a sniper? It's going to use a sniper mag? Like, what?
there are okay. The sniper mag thing is pretty crazy. I think you should use dual mags, like the SMG, like the car. That's pretty crazy. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think about that. But there are, in like, I'm not saying real life situations, but there are, calibers that are reserved for sniper rounds or sniper rifles or whatever rifles that can be used in pistols. So I understand. I think that's a good nerf from that perspective. Like lower the ammo capacity type because you have to be really selective with how you use it now. You just can't like I'm about to run wingman and fucking sniper rifle now and just blow everybody out the water. Especially like
Yeah.
for hackers, they have to really actually choose now what they want to do because
Mhm.
you can blow through what maybe 2 teams with that ammo and that's it. Like
Not
that's it.
even,
That's all
dude.
you
That's
have.
one fight, dude. Like, with a
Well, I'm talking
wingman.
about for hackers. I'm talking
Well,
about for
no,
hackers.
what they've done to the weapon, this is where the ammo is going to hurt it. The lower ammo is really going to hurt it. Using it in the middle of a fight, it's still going to be fine. It's like in like a close range fight. It's mid
Yeah.
range where the weapon was kind of annoying to a lot of people. Is taking those pot shots now. Dude, unless you're really good, like there's no point in shooting anymore from a
Yeah. Yeah.
distance.
You have to be real selective with how you shoot the
Yeah.
gun. I think it's a really good nerf, but I don't think it's gonna shift the meta as much as people think it is. Um, I, it is a big nerf, but I don't think it's gonna shift the meta. I think wingmans are still gonna be king. I don't think you're gonna see it early games anymore. Like people use the wingman super early. I don't think it's gonna be an early game weapon anymore. I think it's gonna be like a mid game weapon.
Mm.
I can
Yeah.
actually see it being used as a late game weapon, like a last
Mhm.
resort weapon.
Mhm.
Like that actually puts SMGs or SMGs and assault rifles back a further tier now
No,
instead
but
of just
dude,
grabbing a
no,
wingman
this
shotgun.
is my problem with respawn, dude. I feel like they target me, okay? Because
Oh my God.
last season, early in season 13, right? Okay. I got really really into the wingman car combo. It's super
Yeah,
versatile. It's one ammo type and they use the same mags, or you could use a light mag for the car, which is great. There was flexibility to it. It was a short range to mid range gun build that I found extremely effective, and it became my main loadout for the game. And I was
yeah.
really into it for the half season we played in season 13. And then what did they do?
They
Apparently
took those two
the
guns.
wingman and the car are suddenly they're problems. So we gotta what do? We gotta put them in the crafting station. You not only you gotta craft both of them, not just one, both of the guns Justin's been mainlining this season. Both go into the crafter. Get fucked, bro. You can suck a dick. Now, so it's like I'm playing in the second half of the season, and I just like I don't even want to play. I'm just like these are the guns I want to use, and I can't use them because anytime we land, if we're not near a crafter, I have no access to the gun. And if I do land on a crafter, my options are use all my crafting materials to craft both guns, and then I can craft nothing else. It's like so and then after that season's over and now they're gonna nerf the wingman into the fucking ground like fuck me dude, like what the fuck, like it's just I don't know, this is it's just like it's almost like a series of unfortunate events, just one thing after another. They're
Yes,
not
I
doing it
can see them.
intentionally to target me, but unfortunately the things they're doing are targeting me unintentionally, and it just it ruins the game for me. I love the 301. I'm gonna use the 301, but then what's my mid range weapon? I don't fucking. I guess the 301 is my mid range, and I can use a car with it. I guess I just I don't know. Just get so frustrated.
You'll be all right, man. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure we'll play next week. I mean, I'm overall outside of that, dude. Overall, I'm actually pretty positive on most of the changes they're making. They're taking out the fucking self res on the gold knockdown shield, which I think is a. I think it's I actually don't hate the change because the
It's useless. It
it
takes too long to revive anyway.
it's useless, but it's annoying to have to keep track of when you're in the middle of a firefight. And
Yeah.
frankly, I'm fine with them taking it out. So that's okay with me. I don't have a big problem with that. A lot of people are pissed about it, but it is what it is. The weapons they're putting in the care package, I actually don't mind. They're putting the bow in there, and then I think they're putting something else that I don't really use. But I do use the bow a good amount, but I'm okay with the bow being in there because it's I think I use it infrequently enough that it being a care package weapon, I'm fine with that. And not only that, they're probably going to buff it back to when it was a 3-shot body shot weapon. When it did 70 damage when it first came out. I'm hoping they do
Yeah.
that. And then, bro, I'm going at every care package if that's the case because that thing was fucking broken when it first came out. So yeah, there's certain things they did that I'm okay with. I mean, the Volt's coming back on the ground, which is great. Getting
Yes.
that back, getting that baby back, which is good. So, um, I don't know. It's just they just have a heavy hand with things
I,
sometimes.
I I don't understand the nerf or the change. I don't think it's a nerf or a buff. It's a change.
Hmm.
For the Spitfire going light, I don't understand that one.
That was because they said it was because there's too many heavy weapons and not enough light weapons, which is imbalancing the loot pool. Um,
Okay.
some
I
people said
disagree.
though, that light ammo inherently travels like slower and also has more bullet drop at like mid-range distance. So if that's true, that's actually a huge nerf to the Spitfire. Like another huge nerf to the Spitfire. They're basically destroying that weapon if that's true. So we'll
Yeah, I
see.
didn't think it was overpowered. I thought it was one of the weakest weapons. I loved it when I first got my hands back on it, and then I quickly realized how
Yeah.
trash it was.
There was a period of
So
time where it was OP.
yeah,
When we first started playing, like season 4
yeah,
through like 10 before they put it in the care package. Um, it was an extremely good weapon and nobody knew it was good. And then all of a sudden, I'm sure some streamer started murdering people with it from like halfway across the map. And people were like, because it has no recoil. And people were like, "Oh, this weapon's OP." It's like, bro, this weapon's always been this way. Like,
yep,
fucking, god damn it. And then respawn, realized it and nerfed it into the ground. So, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, we'll play next week probably and see how the
yeah,
changes are. So, all right, Montrell. We're pretty deep into the show at this point, and we haven't even started the news. So let's get into the news. Um, this first one probably a quick one, but I did want to note it. That the next Monster Hunter game may have been leaked on Discord. At least the name of it. Somebody who has deleted their tweet did mention that they were looking around Discord's backend somehow in developer mode, and they found a code, like an event code for Monster Hunter Paradise. And this code doesn't do anything right now, but like redeeming it, but it offered players Xbox, PlayStation, or PC codes. So this seems like a confirmation, which we already knew Monster Hunter 6 was a real thing from the Nvidia leak.
yeah,
But
yep,
this is basically a confirmation of this game and that it is more than likely the sequel to World. More than likely. So does that excite you, Montreal?
yep. But I would be waiting for Monster Hunter Paradise Exodus, or whatever the fuck they decide to call it.
Exodus. Yeah. So that's cool. Looking forward to that. That's going to be great. We'll talk more about it if we get more news, but I did just want to call it out that it's real. So, okay, let's move on, Montrell. I sent you an article last week. Actually, when I was coming back, I think. Yeah, it was when I was coming back. This came out on early in the week last week. But Eidos Montreal's original founder, Stefan Diastus, I don't know how to pronounce his name, gave an interview to GameIndustry.biz about his time with Eidos Montreal under Square Enix. And he left the company in 2013. So take some of this with a grain of salt. He's speculating a lot with some of the things he said in here, but he talks about the relationship with Square Enix, the relationship with Eidos's leadership in London, and how what happened, the sale of these companies, he was not surprised by. He described it as a quote train wreck in slow motion. So the reason he left in 2013 was because of the way they were being managed by the London leadership team for Eidos, and that they were kind of misappropriating the studio's like strengths. And he kind of painted a picture like Eidos Montreal being as good as they were almost happened by accident. Like it was that team had been together for a long time, and they were really strong and they had strong chemistry because of that fact. But the other team that Eidos Montreal had was not as strong, and they made a couple games that were not as good. I think they made the Thief reboot actually, and that game was not super well received.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of painted an interesting picture for me, and it kind of puts into question, even with Embracer taking over, is there something to be worried about here? Because the management of this studio is still the same, according to him. Like the same people that were there when he left are still there, for the most part, and that Square, Square was not as hands-on, I guess, with these studios, but they also strategically made some errors with what they did with some of the teams as well. So not surprising, I guess, everything he said here. But Montreal, do you have any concern, I guess, about Eidos, Crystal, with this new information?
Yeah, it's almost like what other company did we find out that they had like a lot of leeway over their own thing? Oh, BioWare. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
Um, when we found out that they have a lot of leeway as far as managing their own company, it's not the big bad boogeyman of EA. EA had something to do with it, but they pretty much left them to their own devices. And I feel the same way about when I was reading this article. I just had flashbacks of I had PTSD from BioWare,
Mm-hmm.
BioWare Magic shit.
Yeah.
Um, and I really feel like not looking at it, I feel like especially for the Avengers, I think that was
Mm-hmm.
the studio who made that decision. I think maybe Square was like, "Oh, this is they pitched this to them because they knew Square would like it." But I think that was ultimately like the reason why they pitched it because they knew they'll get money and funding for
Mm-hmm.
the Avengers. But the way the Avengers turned out, I think that was looking at it. I think it was just a Crystal Dynamics thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, also like with Hitman or not Hitman, but with Deus Ex, I feel like that was probably a studio thing. Because
Yeah.
we don't have, there's no reason why they haven't went back to that franchise. They keep going back to Tomb Raider. I think that's because that was their biggest franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's something we'll keep an eye on for sure. I mean, these teams particularly Eidos, Montreal, are really. I have a very high opinion of them, but I've actually only played like really one of their games. Mankind Divided, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and that game was like fucking top tier shit. Actually, that's not true. I played Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That game was really fucking good. So it's 2 games. So they've got a fairly proven track record, at least to me. And then Human Revolution is a fairly lauded game as well, from the PS3 era. So they have a pretty good track record. At least that one team does, that made all 3 of those games, has a pretty proven track record. But yeah, it's just interesting to hear from the person who, I mean, made the fucking studio, that he had kind of a negative point of view of things when he left, and he still feels like nothing's changed, at that point. So I don't know. It's kind of weird because I don't want to like absolve Square Enix. I mean, they're still in charge of marketing for their games, and honestly, a lot of the marketing for some of these games that were coming out of these studios is just fucking unforgivably terrible.
Yeah, they definitely don't know how to market to the West.
Yeah.
It's insane how they don't know how to market to the West now.
Yeah.
I feel like companies don't have an excuse now. Like you can say that, but like the internet is such a good spot to kind of blur cultural lines that there's no excuse for this, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like the decision to put or was it Rise of the Tomb Raider? Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider to come out the same day as Fallout 4. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. That literally killed that fucking game, like straight up. That was super dumb. It just like it's a lot of boneheaded decisions over the years. The way they marketed Guardians of the Galaxy was not good either, and then everything around the Avengers was not good either. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Embracers, it's a new territory. Maybe they'll handle the studios a little bit more, a little differently than Square did, and we'll see some different results. But I do recommend, though, if you guys want to read more about this, like specifically read it. It's a fairly lengthy article, but I think it's a good read if you're interested in those teams and some of the things around the deal that went down. His kind of opinions on it, so worth a read for sure. All right, Montrell, let's move on. Our next story. This one is fun. This came from Bloomberg. They have reported that Blizzard and NetEase have canceled a World of Warcraft MMORPG for mobile, and the game, it was claimed in the article, has been in development for 3 years. So games get canceled all the time. Okay, I think, but when Blizzard is, my reaction to you when you sent this, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Was basically like, how many fucking mobile games is Blizzard making over there right now? Because we got Diablo Immortal, we've got Arclight Rumble, which they announced, and now we have this that got canceled, and this was in development for 3 years. Like, how much development talent is Blizzard really using up to make mobile shit? You know, like I just like we were talking about Riot earlier, and dude, it's like, oh my god, you know, like Legends of Runeterra is a mobile game, but it's a good one. You know, it plays great on mobile. Like,
the Wild Rift is a mobile game and a console game, and people love that game now.
Yeah,
like that has a whole meta and a whole other community separate from the Rift. So
yeah. So it's like, but with Blizzard, like, dude, I'm sorry, but they don't know how to do this, man. They're not good at mobile games. Also, their fan base doesn't want this. You know, like they don't want this.
Well, Blizzard. Well, I mean, let's you know the reason. Did they even touch on the article? I can't remember if they touched on the article why they canceled it. I think it was just a partnership deal between NetEase and them. Like they couldn't really work something out.
I don't think they're. I don't think it actually. I don't know if it actually detailed like why, but
it just said that there was a financial dispute over the terms of the title for the title. That was pretty much it.
Oh yeah, the two companies. This is from the article. Quote: the two companies disagreed over terms and ultimately called a halt to the project. And that's all. That's pretty much all that they said in there that I can see. So
I mean, it must have been a big thing for them to actually, you know,
3 years of development. 3 years, they just flushed down the toilet, dude. And they disbanded. NetEase disbanded a team of 100 developers. That were working on this project. So I don't know how much Blizzard was really involved, but at the same time, I just find it.
Well, their names on it, so it's still. they're still involved. In my opinion, they're still involved and they're still at fault for this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you remember years ago,
Right.
back when I was working with you, actually when the Diablo Immortal dropped, the trailer for it,
Right.
we found out that they are working on like numerous projects.
Well,
for
no, they said,
mobile.
yeah, they said that. They offered that information up as a defense for Diablo Immortal. They're like, everybody was like, why are you making mobile games? Rah, 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 rah. And Blizzard was like put foot in mouth and was like, well, we got a lot of teams working on mobile games. We're working on mobile games for every one of our major franchises right now. But it's like, dude, nobody wants to hear that, bro. That's the last thing I want to hear from you right now. That would be like Sony saying all of our studios are working on mobile games. No, that's not what we want. And like I can't think of a company. I mean, I'm sure they exist, and I'm sure I could actually think of one if I sat down and like really thought about it. But I just can't think of a company that has like completely fucking torpedoed any like their reputation and people's expectations for them and what like they're like just their rep in general as much as Blizzard has, like with all the sexual assault allegation stuff, the workplace harassment and shit, and like and just what they've done with their franchises over the years and all that. Like this company's a fucking just total shambles in my opinion. And
They're just making so much money that they don't really care. Like,
yeah, but it's like they're making money in spite of themselves, you know? I don't I just like it's not gonna last forever, dude. Like I just like I don't think it will last forever. I'm not saying Blizzard's gonna
I don't.
close, but I'm saying the success is just not gonna sustain itself because people fucking hate this company, dude. Like I don't know.
No, you're right. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even surprised by like what's going on. I actually was surprised that they actually canceled the game. I thought they would have
Yeah.
even moved forward with it. It's so many WoW clones on fucking mobile right now. To have an actual WoW on mobile, I thought would have been cool. But then I thought about it, would probably would have monetized the death like they did fucking Immortal,
Mm-hmm.
to where the game has no fucking substance anymore.
Right.
Um, and at this point, it's like, why even fight it, bro? Like as a gamer, it's like I have accepted my place as an old gamer, as a boomer gamer
Yeah.
now, even though I'm a millennial,
We
but
boomers,
whatever.
baby. We're boomers.
Yeah, like I've accepted my place.
Yeah.
I had one. I thought I talked about it last week, but I didn't go in depth when I re-listened to it. But like the mobile game thing, bro. Like these kids, I say kids, I'm like 27, 28, bro. Like they are into these mobile games now, bro. Like that's their thing, and
Yeah.
uh, it's not like card games. It's like fucking Dokkan, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan. That's pretty
Oh
much.
yeah.
I watched the gameplay for it. It's Bejeweled with Dragon Ball Z character animations. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Yo, this game is just so fucking dope. Oh my god, I fucking love it." And I'm like, people are spending millions of dollars on these mobile games. I pick up a mobile game, I play it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, whatever. I even picked up the Mega Man. It's a Mega Man Legends or Mega Man X mobile game that has the gameplay of X and everything.
Really.
And I play it and I'm like, yikes. Like
You gotta like
they
spin the gotcha wheel for all the Mega Man powers.
you gotta spin the gotcha wheels for like little tiny power-ups and stuff like that.
Okay.
And for like characters and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then you play the game, and it's like the game's like it's like a budget Mega Man X game. So it's like I don't know, man. It's just really weird how all these games, how the climate has changed for like mobile games and console games and everything of that nature. I mean, we're going to get into it in the next article too, so that kind of leads into that. But more on Blizzard, like it's just like I understand why they're doing it because people are going to buy the shit.
Yeah.
Like they're going to buy it. Regardless how many people bitch about it, regardless of anything. Like the younger kids, they're pretty much groomed. Like we literally seen it, bro. We seen people get groomed into mobile games.
Yeah.
You have any games on your phone is a meme because kids will play games on their phone, and once they get older, they'll start buying little microtransactions for the games because they don't understand that we used to unlock stuff, by actually playing the game. Oh, why don't you just buy it, bro? What the fuck? Like,
Right. Man, you're painting
so
such an ugly picture, Montrell. Well, I mean, do
I'm
you think by the
sorry.
time we're retired that we're still going to be gamers? Like, do you think it's going to be so different that we're going to hate video
I
games?
I think we're gonna be gamers in the sense that we're gonna only stick to what we play,
We're
like
going to
old
play the old
games.
shit. Yeah, we're going to play
I think
retro.
I Yeah, I think past 50, right? Like the games that come out past 50, we're not gonna play those. Like we're gonna be like 50-year-olds, like those games up to the age of 50, we're gonna play all those games. And then anything past
I
50,
mean,
we're not
that's
gonna even
not
touch
that
them
long
anymore.
from now, though, dude. I mean, we're older than we're
Bro,
old,
and
Montrell. Like,
yeah, I
so
know.
what you're saying is 20 years from now, new video game releases aren't going to be for me and you anymore.
I'm
Yeah,
100% saying that.
man,
I think everything's
that's
gonna be
depressing.
streamlined. I think everything's gonna be streamed. I think everything's gonna be microtransactions. I don't think there's rarely going to be a game that comes out, and even if it does come out, it's going to be like episodic. It's going to be like a
Yeah.
stream episodic thing that you have to pay for. Like you can't just play it.
Mhm.
And I kind of feel bad for like those gamers in the future, but they're not going to know any better, so they're not going to know
Hey,
what the fuck.
you know what the good thing is for me and you? Even if that future does come to pass, which I hope it doesn't, we have, at this point, we have 30, 40 years of games we can play that probably we haven't played a bunch of.
Yeah,
So I could probably go the rest of my life without another video game coming out and be entertained,
yeah,
to be
exactly.
honest. So, given that, we'll probably be okay. We'll probably still be playing games, but yeah, you're right. Maybe it's retro. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm like that cynical about it, but man, it's just I don't know. It's just getting so I don't even
I
know
don't know.
anymore, dude. Like
Mobile
people just
games,
accept this, man. Like it's just like it's just accepted. It's just part of the medium now.
yeah, I don't even know where it started to be honest with you. Like maybe I mean one can argue maybe free to play games for MMOs way back in the day. That's when it started. Like the whole microtransaction thing and pay to win and everything like
Yeah,
that.
that was the first time that I think free to play in games had really been proven to be something that worked
Yeah.
beyond mobile. And yeah, you're probably right. That was probably it. I mean,
Yeah.
I famously remember Lord of the Rings Online going free to play, and that was a humongous deal because that game was dying. Like nobody was playing Lord of the Rings Online. It was like it had less than like 200,000 people playing,
Yeah.
like subscribe to the game. And they went free to play, and that game fucking blew back up to the point that it is still going now. Like they are releasing new content for it still to this day, you know? Like that's how
Yeah.
much that saved that game's life. So which is fucking totally insane. But so yeah, I don't know. That probably was it for sure. But all right, let's move on, Montreal. We got a lot more to talk about. All right, this next story. We've warned you guys. We've tried to warn you. Digital is coming. Physical is going to die. Well, if Sony's last financial quarter is any indication, we are fucking right, and we are much closer than we thought. Because in their last quarter, they had their earnings report a couple weeks ago, and they reported, or last week, they reported that nearly 80%, 79% is what they said. 79% of all PS5, PS4 games have been bought digitally in the last quarter for Sony. 80%. Like, how like a year or two ago we were talking about games cresting over 50% where they were selling more digitally than physically? That was like literally like 2 years ago. Not even. Like it was like last year. Nintendo literally just said today I think that they have officially crested 50%, like more than 50% of their sales are digital. So they are the majority of their games now are being sold digitally versus physical. Nintendo,
hmm
and they're like the last bastion of true physical games. So we're losing them too, and Sony's already at 80% in a quarter digital. Montrell, physical's dead, man. Throw your game discs out the window, burn them, throw them in the trash can.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I kind of already accepted it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Think I'm trying to
Are you
remember
starting to
when was
buy
the last time.
digital? Are you starting to buy
Yeah, I
digital?
am.
Oh
Last
no, the
the last
go.
couple of games actually. My last purchase for the last like 4 or 5 months have been
Yeah,
digital.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I haven't accepted it. I haven't
I
accepted
I
it.
I will say for the Switch, I haven't been buying physical, but for because I like having the cartridges, they just look really cool. I don't know why. It just reminds me of old school
Well,
gaming.
also the
But
Switch has such slow storage. It's like
yeah, exactly,
you kind of have to with that one.
exactly.
But
But like all like PlayStation and Xbox, I mean the disc is nothing but like to me a token to just go online and buy it.
right.
So like why would I unless I want to buy it used, I will I'll buy it
Yeah.
physical.
Well,
I'll buy it physical used, and
yeah.
then if it's new, I'll buy it digital unless there's like a sale. Like they had like PlayStation had a sale for like 80% off, and then the
Mhm.
week before last, Xbox had a sale for 80% off. So I was buying a whole bunch of games digitally.
Right.
And that's pretty much how I've been buying my games, unless it's like a game I really want, like maybe Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or when Bayonetta 3 comes out or something like that. If I really want to buy it first day, I
Right.
will wait a couple months and just buy it on the sale or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that is literally the only reason. The only reason I still buy physical is because I can resell it. That's it.
Mm,
That is the only reason. I think if I didn't do that or couldn't do that for some reason, I would buy digital too. You know, like
mm.
that's like the only reason I still do it because I can't sell my digital shit. So, but looking at their the statistics they gave us, so they gave last year fiscal year as well. Um, they said for the whole fiscal year, 66% of their game sales were digital. So, oof, man, oof, we are.
I will say this, for me, for
Mhm.
digital, it makes me more cautious to buy the game. It's a
Yeah,
commitment.
yeah.
Uh, like I learned a lot from that Battlefield 22 purchase. That was 70 fucking dollars.
Oh, you better really
Uh,
want it if
yeah,
you're gonna buy it
yeah.
digital. That's why
So
that's my thing because I do buy games physical on a whim, but the reason I do it is because if I don't play it, I can just sell it later, and
exactly,
recoup
yeah. So
something. So
I do hella research now in the game before I buy it, um, digitally. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I know a lot of people aren't like me; they just like the convenience of it. But for me, it's like a commitment. Once I press that pay button on Xbox or PlayStation, like you better have a good ass game,
yeah,
or else you're gonna feel my wrath. But yeah,
yeah. You're gonna come on the show and yell about it.
yeah, exactly. But so far, I mean, if I bought it on a discount, then it was like $10 or some shit like that, and I'm like, I ain't gonna bitch about, and it was trash. I'm like, oh, it's only $10, whatever.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, um, I don't know. I just kind of accepted it because I don't know, man. It is really cool to switch from game to game
hmm
with convenience. But I do also like looking at my box collection as well. But then I'm also thinking too, like this is like not, I guess, not gaming related, but like the environment and stuff like that. So I'm like, bet if I have to sacrifice, looking at my boxes in my collection for,
yeah,
having a better environment and going digital, cool. I can make that sacrifice.
yeah.
So,
Well, the other reason I buy physical a lot of the time is because it's often cheaper than digital,
hmm
anyways. Because
yeah.
when retailers have too much stock of a game, dude, they discount it quickly.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So yeah, like Battlefield was a great example. That game was like $20 within like 3 weeks of the game coming out.
Yeah. That shit was
Um,
still $70 digitally.
yeah, which is yeah, Jesus, that's fucking terrible. So that's another reason I buy physical. But dude, I think people are in their, they got their rose tinted glasses on because they're like, man, I'm gonna be physical forever. And I'm like, dude, like physical forever is not gonna happen. Like, dude, if these sales keep up over the course of this generation, right, and we're 80% or higher digital, like Sony's really gonna have to think about with the next console. Do we even have a disc drive? I mean, I made that prediction that I think the next console is not going to have one. Like it's going to be digital only. Um, so we're going to make that jump at some point. I think Xbox is like literally almost guaranteed to be digital only with their next console. But yeah, Sony's already. I feel like they're fucking rapidly approaching that decision though, because 80% digital is nuts for them to me. But I don't know. Guess we'll keep monitoring it, Montrell, but I hope not. I like my physical games. I'm looking at my game collection right now. It's not big, but it's full of quality shit. Like there's most of the games on this shelf are fucking good ass video games. So
Yeah.
okay, let's move on, Metro. Talking about more financials. MPD numbers for June. We are a few weeks behind on this, but they did come out for June. So let's go over them. So total video game sales for the month of June, 4.335 billion this year versus 4.878 billion last year. That is a negative 11% decrease. Video game content. So this is physical, digital, full game sales, DLC, microtransactions, subscription, consumer services, etc. 3.789 billion versus 4.271 billion. That is also an 11% decrease year over year. Video game hardware, 371 million versus 401 million. That is an 8% decrease. And then video game accessories, 176 million this year versus 206 million last year. That is a 15% decrease. We are continuing to see decreases in game sales. This has been going on for the entirety of this year. So this is not a surprising trend. It is interesting because this year has been like it came out of the gates really strong, but it has completely hit a wall and slowed to a fucking crawl in terms of releases, AAA releases, especially since I don't know April, early April. So we'll see how the end of the year goes, I guess, with like Ragnarok and some of the bigger games that are coming out. But Montreal, do you think these numbers are going to turn around by the end of the year, or do you think we're in for a really like a down year for games?
Man, that's a good question. I don't want to get super economical on this bitch, as I do follow a lot of like economics and stuff like that and economy shit on YouTube. And I mean, yeah, we could be headed for a recession, and that could hit video games. I mean, I
It's
don't know.
interesting because it
Or
usually doesn't, you know?
yeah, you're right. It usually doesn't, but I think,
Yeah.
well, I would say it kind of did. Usually what happens with video games, the recession for video games happens later. It's weird as fuck. Well, you remember the '08 recession?
Yeah.
Remember, and then kind of line it up when games kind of, it was that huge decline in games,
Yeah.
uh, like in 2012 or
Well,
2010,
yeah, because when the
2012.
when the when the recession happened, gaming surged, um,
Yeah.
and sales went way up. But
Yeah, and then you remember the crash happened in gaming like 2 years later or something like that. It
yeah,
was weird.
but you could you
Uh,
could you could argue though at the time or even now in retrospect that timing coincided with the end of a generation, so you could see the sales being lower because we saw that at the end of PS4. The interesting thing about this situation is that we're like smack dab in the middle of a generation. We're not even 2 years in, like
yeah,
so this is kind of crazy. This is when you should be fucking like we should be killing it right now. But I think there's two factors that I can think of that are really contributing. One is stock of consoles, is really just killing them. The fact that they're not able to get the supply to meet the demand, I think is definitely hurting game sales overall. Probably the second thing is that I think the last 2 years were such overwhelming high points because of COVID, and everybody buying games all of a sudden. I think it was kind of a peak that wasn't a sustainable peak. That was something we talked about when it first happened. Was like, is this sustainable long term? And I didn't think so, and I think that's what we're seeing. This is just a natural come back down to where games really are. It's not that crazy of a drop, but it's 10%, which is significant for an industry. But overall not surprised because of that, at least to me. So it's kind of within the expectations, I think, but um, I'm sure game companies all over probably pulling their hair out trying to explain this to their shareholders. So I'm sure that's fun. But all right, continuing on with the MPD list. Top 20 games for June, top 20 bestsellers. Number one, Elden Ring, still there. Number 2, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Number 3, Mario Strikers Battle League. Number 4, MLB The Show 22. Number 5, Overwatch. The fuck?
What?
What the fuck? What?
Oh, you know what? I think if you get Overwatch, you get Overwatch 2 for free.
No, Overwatch 2 is free. Period.
Oh, well,
It's
fuck,
a
I
free
don't
to
know
play
then.
game. I have no idea. There must maybe some promotion or something. I don't know. Or the beta.
Yeah.
The beta did drop in June, I think, for Overwatch 2. So maybe that reignited interest,
Yeah.
possibly. So number 6, Mario Kart 8.
Of course.
Nope.
That's not even.
Why are we surprised? We're not surprised.
Yeah.
Number 7, Nintendo Switch Sports. Number 8, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Number 9, Final Fantasy
Nice.
7 Remake. Damn, dude, some weird ones. Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Was that when the trailer dropped for the second one? For Rebirth?
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
did it
you
come
know
out
what?
on, or did it come out on PC? I don't remember.
It did come out on PC. You're right. It did.
Okay,
You're right.
that's probably what it is
Yep.
then. Okay, number 10, Minecraft. Number 11, Call of Duty Vanguard. Wow, dude, that's kind of crazy to see Call of Duty this low on the list. At this point in the year, interesting. Number 12, F1 22. Number 13, Mario Monster Hunter Rise. Number 14, Demon Slayer. Number 15, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 16, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Number 17, Sonic Origins. Number 18, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Number 19, The Quarry. And number 20, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Anything jumping out to you there besides what we called out?
No, not really, unfortunately. Well, actually, you know what? I'm actually surprised Sonic Origins is up there, but then again, I'm not. So
The Quarry being on there is actually interesting too.
What about that Demon Slayer? What is that?
Is that the fighting game?
No, it says published by Sega. Sega didn't publish that.
Okay.
That was a.
Well, this is not a new game either. By the way, this was 56 last month, so this is an existing game. Like this game has maybe been out for a while.
Oh, actually, it is the fighting game that was published by Sega, not Namco.
The fuck, man! Did Namco sue them for stealing that Naruto engine?
Maybe, bro.
They should.
Maybe Namco, Bandai Namco don't have the rights to Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. That's actually really weird.
So, in this as well, there's a quote in here that, quote, Elden Ring ranks among the top 10 best-selling premium games in the U.S. market all time. And that's dollar sales, end quote. So, Jesus, man. It's from Soft. Actually, did you talk about that last week? That their next game, they said their next game is almost done.
That news came out after I recorded it.
Well, yeah, that's got to be the Armored Core game, right?
Man, I heard there's rumors that they're reusing assets from older titles, Dark Souls games and stuff like that. So it could be something else. It could be a Bloodborne 2 or some shit like that. I don't fucking know.
It's got to be the Armored Core game, dude.
I said it was the Armored Core game too, but people don't believe me. It's the Armored Core game. People there are a lot of people who actually don't want it to be an Armored Core game. A lot of the Souls fans, they don't want it to be Armored Core games.
Fuck you, Souls fans. You guys have been eating for literally a decade and a half. So maybe let the Armored Core fans get like a little bit of some table scraps, okay? But second, Miyazaki said a couple years ago or a few years ago that they had like 3 games in development, and one of those games was Sekiro, one of those games was Elden Ring, and the third game isn't out yet and is presumably this game. And this game and the Armored Core game was heavily rumored like several months ago. We covered it, so it's got to be the Armored Core game. Like I don't think
it has to be. I think it's the Armored Core game, but then they From Software did something really fucking weird. Their Twitch or their Twitter hosted a stream of someone doing Sekiro for some strange reason. And they never do shit like that. So everyone Yeah.
No,
Nah, they,
no,
nah,
no, dude,
yeah.
no. They're not doing that. No, they're fucking with y'all. They're fucking with us.
So
There's no
I
way.
don't know, man. We
Nah,
may get Sekiro 2 or something like within the same.
nah, bro.
I think Sekiro's perfect, so I don't think we need a Sekiro 2.
I don't.
But
I don't think we need it, and B, what are they gonna do to make it better? Like, just like that. Like that. That's like if you're just gonna sit down in a design meeting, right? Like you're like you're gonna brainstorm. Like how do we make Sekiro better in a sequel? Like enhance the game. And
that's actually a good question. I'm
there's no
trying to think of
answer.
something right.
There's no answer. You made the perfect game. Like this is like nothing you can do can make it better. So don't even touch it. Like there's no reason to even touch it. You know?
I mean, they can make it. They can make it open world like Elden
No,
Ring. I wouldn't want that shit.
no. Oh, it's the Michael Scott meme. No. No, that wouldn't make it
No,
better.
I would fucking hate that too. No,
Yeah, please.
I wouldn't like that shit either. Yeah, I hope it's the Armored Core game. The only reason, like I said, I was skeptical is because some people were rumored that they were reusing assets and stuff from older games, but that could be anything. Like it could be like pots or something. I mean, because some of the buildings and stuff like that can be used in like in a futuristic type game or a modern game. So
yeah,
I can see them doing that, or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool though to see what they're cooking up in the studio.
Well,
I'm just hoping it's not another Soulsborne game. Like
yeah.
I'm
Agreed.
actually done.
Agreed.
With Soulsborne
like
games.
We just got Elden Ring. We're good.
Yeah, I think that Elden Ring. I know we're talking about NPD numbers, but Elden Ring is the ultimate like Dark Souls game. I don't think it's like a Bloodborne or
put
a
it away.
Game.
We don't
need
another one.
Yeah,
all right? That's
no
the perfect
more.
Dark Souls
That's
game.
the perfect. Yeah, exactly. That
you
is the
can't
perfect
make it better.
Dark Souls.
You can't make it better, so don't make a sequel.
You literally can't. Can't. I don't need to see Elden Ring 2. I don't need to see that shit.
No, I don't need to see it either. We're gonna get it though. That one we're getting for sure.
Yeah, we are. So, unfortunately,
much to our chagrin. But so top 20 best-selling games of the year. I don't know if I want to go through the full list, but I do want to call some things out here that I find very, very interesting. That there are certain games that came out earlier in the year that aren't on this list at all. Dying Light 2 is number 20, and it is about to fall off the list. I think probably next month, like this month in July. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands not even charted on here. Some of these big games that came out earlier in the year, like in February, March timeframe, nowhere to be seen on here, or otherwise about to fall off the list entirely. So, and honestly, a lot of the games on the list this year are games that came out last year, like Call of Duty Vanguard. We've got fucking Mario Kart, of course, is on there. Minecraft, FIFA 22. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Monster Hunter Rise, Animal Crossing, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Party Superstars, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the Call of Duty from 2 years ago. It's on this list. It's like, dude, you couldn't outsell games that came out last year. It's like, damn, some of these games must not have done very well.
Well, you know what? It's hanging strong, and I'm actually glad it's really up there. It's on both lists actually. It's on the top best-selling top list for last 12 months and for 2022 is a Horizon Zero Dawn. Like they're getting the recognition they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people were upset that it was getting outshined by Elden Ring. But I think it's actually the sales don't lie. I think people are playing this game and they're loving it.
They made money off it, that's for sure. Gran Turismo's on here too. Gran Turismo 7. Kirby is number 8. Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
I told you, bro. I told you Kirby's, when that game dropped. That's crazy, dude. It had 300. It sold over 300,000 units the first weekend it dropped.
It's crazy, dude. It's so fucking nuts.
I didn't know people were like
that
Kirby crazy. Yeah, man.
Kirby crazy. Oh shit! All right, well, we'll have another one of these in the next week or two because MPD usually drops in the middle of the month, so we'll have an update on this in the next couple episodes. So, all right, Montrell, let's move on to the only thing I care about in this entire show. It's finally happened. I have triumphed. I have done it. I've lived long enough to
You know
see
what?
Square
You know what?
Enix bring it back. Tactics Ogre Reborn has officially been announced. We
I
got a
saw this
trailer.
drop, right? I saw this
Yeah.
drop like last week, actually, and I
I saw
did
it in the
not send
fucking
you the news.
airport, or
Yeah,
I
I
saw the
didn't
leaks
send
in
you the
the airport.
news.
Sorry, the trailer dropped today. But
Okay,
there
yeah, I
were
saw the
huge
leaks last
leaks.
week.
There were leaks
Yeah,
last week. Yeah, yeah.
okay. I didn't send it to you intentionally because I'm like, he's gonna fucking flip his shit like
Mm-hmm.
on the cruise. He's probably
Yeah.
gonna fucking
Yeah, I was in
have
the
a mental
airport, dude. I'm
breakdown.
like, oh my god, man, it was so annoyed with me because I'm like on my phone for like 30, 40 minutes straight trying to get as much info as I could about this, and I was like, dude, it's no okay. So I'm gonna go. Let's go into it. So they dropped a trailer. November 11th is this year is the release date, and so the game. This is all the details. I know most of you don't give a shit about it, but I'm fucking talking about it anyways. So it's based off the 2011 remake that came out on PSP. It looks very similar to it. They've cleaned up the graphics. There's a controversy around that because they did their like pixel fucking smoothing thing that they've been doing with their remasters for like Final Fantasy games, old pixelated Final Fantasy games. People don't like it. I think it looks okay. I don't hate it. I don't really care that much. Fuck it. Like, I'm not playing Tactics Ogre because of the graphics. I mean, it is a good looking game, but fuck it. Anyways, second thing, full voice acting in the game, which that is interesting. I find that very interesting. If you watch the trailer, like there's tons of voice acting in the trailer, and they're voice acting lines that they're showing on the screen. So the game is going to be voice acted. Three, the shitty class system that they came up with in the 2011 remake on PSP is gone. They're bringing back the old school individual unit leveling, where you can change classes of your units, and your unit's level is individual to that unit. That is the core of Tactics Ogre. Okay. They're bringing that back, and that was the one thing I needed to see. And then I fucking fist pumped. I'm fucking pumped, dude. This shit. I don't give a shit what's coming out in November. God of War Ragnarok, get fucked. Like, I'm playing this shit, bro. Like, we're playing this. This is what I'm hyped about. So yes. Otherwise, I don't know what else they're doing. I don't know if
goddamn game.
What?
Since
Yeah.
So you've been talking about this goddamn game since we were in the closet.
Yeah,
the fucking,
man.
like,
Dude,
like the
this is one of my favorite fucking games. Okay, like I love this game. This is the basis for every strategy RPG that's almost ever come out since. Like, this is the game that that Final Fantasy Tactics was based on. Like this is the game. Nobody knows it, and it pisses me off to no end. Everybody's like, "Oh, Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics is the best tactics game ever made." Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Tactics Ogre is where it came from. Okay, it's literally like the people who made Final Fantasy Tactics said that. It's like the game like heavily influenced their design of it. Now,
it's people in the comments of the YouTube video who are like they are agreeing with you, and they're like, "Yo, they're like Final Fantasy Tactics. Fuck that. Let me get this game, man." Like, I mean, you're like going crazy.
Final Fantasy Tactics is great. It's its own thing. They made it their own game. What I'm saying though is everybody gives this genre to Final Fantasy Tactics like it is the one. That's the game that put it on the map, and that's true probably from like a mainstream perspective, but. This is the game though that came first, and this did it first, and it was a very robust game, and it still is a very robust game to this day. And there's very few tactics games that do what this game does anywhere near as good as it does it. So like that's why I'm like super excited to play it, because the reason is we've only had this game officially because this came out on Super NES. This game has never actually been released in the US beyond a PlayStation port, like an original PlayStation port that was absolutely horrible, like ran like complete shit, had frame drops, it was slow, laggy, the game was just not good. That is not a way to play this game. And then the 2011 remake on PSP, those are the only two forms we've ever gotten this game in. And the 2011 remake on PSP is not the game. It's not the same game. Like the combat system is the same in terms of how it is functionally done, like the way you move your units and stuff and attack and things like that. But the underlying statistical systems for the units are completely different from the original game. And like I was saying, units do not individually level. they level based on what class they're in, and the class levels up. So if you transfer somebody over to a class that's level 25 and they're in a class that's level 35, they'll become level 25. That was the system in the PSP remake. That system sucked dick and I hated it, but I like this game so much that I played that game for probably 600 hours. So imagine how much time I'm going to put into this, where it's the game I actually want to play. So, but the thing with the PSP remake is obviously they redid the graphics, they redid the presentation, they redid the UI. They added some new systems to the game. Like there was a crafting system. There was a lot of stuff they added to the game that I actually really liked. And that is probably going to be in this now because that is the basis for this game. So I think I'm getting Tactics Ogre in the best form I'm ever going to get it in this game. That's how I feel based on everything I'm seeing and hearing and reading. And I'm fucking here for it, dude. Like I'm fucking here for it. Okay. As much as I was into triangle strategy, it ain't got nothing on Tactics Ogre, bro. Like it just doesn't. It just doesn't. So this is the ultimate strategy RPG for me. Like I'm not saying objectively it's better than every fucking strategy RPG that ever comes out. That's a subjective opinion, but I think it's hard. It's hard for me to put another game up to it that's anywhere close to it. Like honestly, like Final Fantasy Tactics is literally it. That's the only other game I can think of that's even in the same echelon as Tactics Ogre for strategy RPGs. So yes, I'm excited. I'm sure you can tell clearly, but it's real. I recommend you all play it. It's coming out on Switch, PlayStation, and PC, which is interesting. Not Xbox, which is also interesting. So
They know their audience.
They do know their audience. But it is interesting. It's notable because I did see some Xbox people complaining about that. That they are getting skipped over once again for another game from Square Enix. And this is starting to become a very interesting. I don't want to go into a full discussion about is Square Enix trying to get bought, but it's starting to feel like they're trying to get bought by Sony.
Hey man, acquisitions is the name of the game. This is the year of this is the era, I should say, of acquisitions.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't want to get into a deep conversation, but I didn't know that Discovery bought Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Discovery made that much fucking money to buy Warner Brothers. They
That is pretty crazy. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if Square Enix as a corporation, they're probably looking at all the moves that the West is doing right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they would. It's a safe bet. You get bought under Sony's umbrella. Like Sony's on top of the world right now. So,
yeah, and the more I think about it, I know there's a lot of people out there who, I mean, I don't want it to happen, but the idea that it's not a good idea for Sony to do it, I actually am starting to feel like that's not true. Even though they're buying all these exclusives through deals they're making with Square Enix. I mean, if you buy Square Enix though, you don't have to make those deals anymore, so you're not spending any money to do it. You just have them and you can make them exclusive if you want. And second, when it's being sold on your platform, you are making 100% of the sale, like on PlayStation Network versus the 30% you're making now off Square's games. So I think it's a big enough difference that it is worth it for Sony to invest the money. If they can buy Square for $2 or $3 billion, like fuck it, dude. Yeah, done. That's a steal, in my opinion. So honestly, they could position them like Bungie, where they're not like a PlayStation Studios brand per se. They're more autonomous, and that I think that's what I could see happening, where they let Square continue to make their little Nintendo games that they make every once in a while, like Triangle Strategy and Octopath Traveler, where they release like a Nintendo exclusive. I could see that continue to happen even under Sony. So I don't know. I feel like it's actually going to happen at some point, but we'll see on that. But anyways, Tactics Ogre, back to Tactics Ogre, the thing that matters here. Just guys, check it out. If you're into strategy RPGs, you've never heard of this franchise, you've never played it, or you've heard of it and you've never played it, when this comes out, dude, just fucking trust me, man. Like this game's got multiple endings, like 3 different paths you can go down, or 4 different paths, I think. You can go down. The game has multiple endings. It's a fuck ton of content. I'm telling you, one playthrough of this game probably will take you 100 hours or more. to play through it. Post game content. The game has a fuck ton of post game content too. Multiple dungeons. There's a dungeon in the game with 100 floors. And there's all this like hidden fucking equipment and loot and shit. Like, dude, it's just, oh my god, it's so good. I'm so excited. I'm sorry, Montrell. Okay, rant over. I'm done. But do you have any interest in playing this though?
It looks interesting. I'm actually my biggest gripe. I know this is so fucking petty. I think Triangle Strategy is fully voice acted. I think I'm gonna play that.
Yeah.
But that was my biggest gripe. I didn't want to read a whole bunch of fucking text. And
I get it.
if this game is fully voice acted,
Yeah.
I
It's
will
gonna
definitely
be.
check it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be. So
Yeah,
which
so
I
I'm
think
definitely gonna
I think
check it
makes
out.
sense. I didn't even think about it as a thing they were gonna do with this.
Mhm.
But once I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh shit, they're doing voice acting, and I was like, oh, of course that's how you bring this game into the modern day. Like I know
Yeah.
it could be good voice acting, it could be bad voice acting. You know, it's like we don't know, but regardless, the attempt to do it, I think, is smart. If the
Yeah.
voice acting's bad, I'm just gonna turn it off. But
Yeah, and you know what? I'm even those type of person. Like, I just want to hear sound when I'm reading the dialogue. So even if it's
yeah,
Japanese voice acting, like
Mhm.
only that, I will still do that because I want to hear the emotions of the words. Like sometimes when I'm reading the text, it doesn't really match the emotion or the atmosphere of what's going on, how serious it is, or whatever. So to have
Mhm.
that, like that's why I like. I think that's why I like Fire Emblem so much
Yeah,
compared to like the older Fire Emblem. I love the older Fire Emblem games because I mean they were on the GBA. You can add voice acting to those. Um, but like Three Houses, I skip Awakening. Three Houses,
that game had voice acting.
it
Well,
did, it did. It
somewhat,
it
actually.
was just fucking bad. I fucking hate that game.
Yeah.
Anyway, Three Houses, like the voice acting in that game really upped the ante as far as like the political intrigue and everything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I
No,
like
bro.
strategy games
Political
that add that
intrigue.
shit.
This game's story. Political intrigue, man. It is political as fucking
Was
hell.
speaking of fucking political intrigue, bro. All
Yeah.
right, somebody got upset with me because I said I think. Well, I didn't play Shadow Walkers yet or Endwalkers, and they're like, man, no. So it's Endwalkers right now, but what was the one before Shadowbringers?
Yeah.
And they're like, man, Shadowbringers is the best fucking DLC. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I really like Heaven Sword. And they're like, what? How do you like Heaven Sword? And I'm like, bro, that shit was like Game of Thrones. Are you fucking serious? With like the fucking town got all that political shit.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really like political shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think people like political shit, man. Like, I love Heaven Sword for political shit. But
Well,
yeah, this game it has the same kind of political shit. People getting backstabbed and shit like
it's
that.
overdone, but yeah, this is like this is Game of Thrones esque for sure.
Yeah,
You have multiple factions, just like the houses in Game of Thrones, like multiple different factions all fighting each other, trying to take control of the continent and shit. Like there's a huge war going on between like 5 different factions at the same time. There's a sub faction from like the Imperial continent comes in, tries to influence shit and take over shit and fuck around, and there's backstabs, and you get to make choices at certain points in the game too, where you can backstab people or join them, and that changes. That's where the different endings come from. You literally go on a different path in the game. Like in chapter 1, at the end of chapter 1, there's a choice, and there's 2 branching paths from that choice that totally change the route of the game you take. And that's why this game is so fucking good to me. Like games don't do that shit that much, you know. And
yeah,
especially tactics games don't do that shit that much. And Tactics Ogre was doing this in fucking 1992 or 1993 when it came out. So it's like, yeah, the game was it's incredible. It's an incredible game for its time, especially. But yeah, highly recommend. If you like Game of Thrones, you like that kind of shit, that backstabby political drama. This game's got all that in spades. So for sure, with great gameplay as well. So November 11th, looking forward to it. It's actually only 3 months from now. Damn, that's crazy. Holy shit, that's exciting. Okay, Montreal. We're done with news. We got a couple more things to go through, and then we can get out of here for the day. So, we did a guess the Metascore segment for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 a couple weeks ago. You said you actually went over this last week,
yeah.
but I wasn't here, so I do want to acknowledge it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 right now is currently sitting at an 89 on Metacritic. Montrell guessed 8.5, and I guessed an 8. I was dead wrong. People are into this game. People really like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is very interesting. This franchise is weird because there's like a group of people who fucking love it. They're like ravenous for it. And then there's everyone else who fucking hates Xenoblade Chronicles. And they hate anybody that likes Xenoblade Chronicles, you know? It's a very interesting community to be a part of.
I still think because it doesn't follow like the combat, at least doesn't follow like the traditional JRPG stuff. It's like it's a Western RPG combat or Western MMO combat with like a JRPG skin.
Good. That's why it's so good, dude.
But I think that's why people hate it as well.
No game does what this series does, like in terms of combat. Like there's games you can point to that are inspirations for it, but all the things put together, there's no game that does what Xenoblade Chronicles does. Like it just there just isn't one, you know. So that's why I love it. I'm sure that's why a lot of people love it. But yeah, 89 on Metacritic. So good job, Nintendo. Good job, Monolith. Congratulations on success with that. All right, Montrell, let's move on to our question, our one listener question from Dat Dude. I actually didn't have time to think about this during the show, so I have no idea what my answer is. You get abducted, and you can only take one console with you and 6 games for that console. What console are you taking, and what are the games you're bringing? P.S. You will have internet access. You know, I'm going to be honest. When I think about work sometimes, I wish somebody would do this to me. Then I don't have to go to work. That'd be great. But then I wouldn't, wouldn't see my wife or any of my friends, which is a bummer. So, but Moncho, do you have an answer for this question?
Fuck.
So I'm gonna cheat a little, I guess. Well, I'm gonna ask the question: is PC count as a console? Because if it does, I'm taking a PC.
Yeah, I think that would be my number one answer. Well, not really. Yeah, now, yeah.
Well, yeah, because my answer, if I can take a PC, I am taking Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Civilization 6 or 4, one of the two of those. Civilization game. I am taking Dota 2. I am taking what else? I need like a single player game. Maybe Last Remnant. That would be good. Yeah, that game's huge. Very replayable too, actually. Yeah, so maybe Last Remnant. And then I probably would take Arcanum, actually, which is like an old CRPG from like 2002 or 2003. I fucking love that game. And very replayable. There's a lot of different character builds you can do. So what is that, 5? I did. So I got a lot of repeatable games for sure. I got a 4X. I got a multiplayer game.
I'm cheating, so I'm about to cheat. You're
Okay.
gonna hate me, but I'm gonna cheat.
That's fine. Go ahead. What do you got?
I'm gonna take my Xbox Series X.
Okay. You're gonna back compat. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm not also gonna back compat. I'm gonna collection.
That counts. That's legit.
I'm gonna collection wise, right? So I'm gonna take the Halo collection.
Okay. Okay. I like it.
I'm gonna take the Mass Effect collection.
Okay. I like it.
Probably gonna take the Devil May Cry collection.
Okay. These are technically one game, so you are. Yeah, I think you're within the bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad, dude, let us know if you hate what we're doing here, but.
Kingdom Hearts collection.
Okay.
So actually,
shit, that is on Xbox. Oh shit! Oh fuck, dude. Okay. Yeah. Is that on PC? If that's on PC, that's my 6th one. I'll probably. I
don't think that's on PC. Fuck. I don't think they moved to the PC yet.
Son of a bitch.
I know Kingdom Hearts 3 is on PC. I don't know if the collection is on PC yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's that, like 4?
Yeah, you're at 4.
Effect. I'm at 4. Okay.
I mean, you got to be careful here, dude. You're taking a lot of single player stuff. Like he said, like it's just like forever. Like you're going forward.
Yeah, I know.
This is all you can play.
The collection is online.
Yeah, I know, but the servers aren't necessarily going to be online forever. So even though
the collection has a different group of servers.
I mean, they're going to shut them down someday. Is what I'm saying.
Hey,
it's going to be a sad day for you when that happens.
The reason I play those online.
Because I
play those online, man. Those servers ain't gonna die.
I picked the shit I picked because I can play it online or offline. Like like Heroes 3 and Civ. Like I could play those online or offline. I don't need either one. Like I could do one or the other, and they're both.
Yeah, I can play Halo offline, online, offline. I
Yeah, I
can
know, but you
play the
can't play the
single player.
multiplayer online.
Yeah, but I can play the single player. I love the
But
single player
okay, all
campaign.
right, fair enough. That is a
Yeah,
lot of games. That is a lot of games.
yeah.
You got two more.
2 more. All right. Sekiro,
Oh, Tactics Ogre is my last one when it comes
your
out.
last
Tactics
one.
Ogre Reborn. That's the last one. Yeah, for sure.
So my last one be or second from last one would be Sekiro,
Okay.
and then my last one would be Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay. That's on Xbox?
Yeah, backwards compat, baby. Hey,
Back compat, man. Damn. Okay. Those are good answers. If I had to pick a console that I would take, man, that's a fucking hard. That's hard. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that. I'm not gonna take an N64. That's a bad idea.
no, that's why they picked the old.
It'd
older
have to be a
games.
modern console. Yeah, it'd have to be something
Yeah,
modern, dude. Like it might be an Xbox Series X actually with back compat with certain games because yeah,
I mean, but you are missing out on all the PS4 PlayStation exclusives.
right.
You
Kingdom
know,
Hearts, yeah, Persona,
well, that's on Xbox now, but yeah, you're missing out on Persona, missing out on
all the PlayStation exclusive games, God of War,
yeah.
Naughty Dog stuff. Yeah, but that's tough though. If you like, that's the thing. Like, would I want to bring a Naughty Dog game with me? Probably not, dude. Like, one of them. like what one Naughty Dog game are you gonna want to bring? That you're gonna want to play?
Why did you say it like that?
I don't know. Well, it's a they're single player games that are like 15 hours. Like, it's like how long could I play that for before I never want to play it again? And one of my 6 games is in a closet that I can't touch, or don't
You
want to
know
touch.
what? I always said Naughty Dog games, like, because I see people in the comments who are like, I've replayed The Last of Us 5-6 times, and I'm gonna play it like the 7th time. And
How do you have the patience for that, dude? I'm like, I played them both once, 1 and 2, and
yeah,
when the remake comes out next month, I'm probably gonna play them both again. Like that's kind of my plan in my head right now. But I'm like, still just like, man, I don't know if like, I don't know.
so
It's a lot.
so I said that, right, and then like I said that like people who play like Naughty Dog games or like the Uncharted games or anything like that many times, they are not, in my opinion, like they really don't play video games like that.
No,
Because
you're right.
like, how can you play this game? Like, I love Uncharted, or I love the Uncharted series. I did play Uncharted 1 through 3. I didn't play the last one. What was it,
4?
Thief's End or something like 4?
Oh,
I
you
didn't
never
play
played
4
4?
yet.
Damn,
No,
dude.
I haven't played 4 yet.
You need to do that. It's a good game.
I love 1 through 3, and then I didn't like The Last of Us 1 too much, but I love The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
But God, I can't play through those games. I can probably play through Last of Us 2 again.
Realistically, like I can play through them. It's just I can only do it every few years. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
I've played The Last of Us 1 once. I've played The Last of Us 2 once. I've never played them again, either one of them. And Uncharted, I've played through all the games. Well, I played through 1 through 3 twice, and I've played through 4 once, and that's it. Like they're fun, but I'm probably gonna play through them again at some point, in the next few years. But it's like it's a nice romp every once in a while for like a week or two, to go through all of them.
Yeah.
It is a fun time for sure, but it's like it's not something I could do every year or fucking multiple times a year. God, that sounds terrible. Like, Jesus, dude, they're not that fun. Like they're fun when you don't remember everything that happens. Like that's when it becomes fun again. Playing them, the act of playing most of these games, besides The Last of Us 2, is like not really that fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a little crazy. That's why I tried to find games. I've tried to pick games that are repeatable, like games that I could play repetitively that you don't get sick of, that have like fucking so many permutations. I could play it for my entire life and I wouldn't exhaust all the options, like Civilization is like that for sure. So Heroes 3, I could play endlessly, probably would never get bored of it. So that one obvious too. And I picked a couple single player things, when I'm feeling that. So So, yeah. In terms of a console, yeah, it'd have to be one of the modern ones that has back compat for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'd lean Xbox because they have more available, but I'd have to like look through the entire catalog of what I could pick though. Because you're right, there's some Sony exclusive stuff that I really would miss not
Yep.
being able to play for sure. So yeah. All right, those are our answers. Montrell, that's it. That's all we got. That's it for the show this week. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go?
Nah, I'm about to eat.
All right, fair enough. Me too. We actually finished fairly early tonight because we started early, so I am excited to have a full evening ahead of me. And yeah, I'm gonna go eat too. So, all right, everybody, if you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at the Player's Stake. If you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that is it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.